Welcome to the 2013 Aloha Clinic training videos. This section we're going to cover holding plays and their spots of enforcement. After that we're going to move into some plays that are specific to the quarterback position. So let's get started with play number 1. I've highlighted the running back with this arrow, and he's the one that's guilty of the hold. It's right on the corner, but the running back cuts in on it. But he does give him a couple of good tugs, ultimately ends up turning the player around. It's right at the point of attack, so it really was a good call. You'll notice that the wing official got a little bit too far upfield on this as well, so you want to be careful about how far upfield you get on a play to your side. But the snap was at the 44, the hold was at the 44. It's a running play, so it will be from the spot of the hold, which is behind the end of the run, where they will replay the down minus 10 yards. Play number 2 I've included because we called holding on this play and I can't find it. And I've included a number of plays in this video this year because we had a number of these types of calls made throughout the year, and we need to raise our standard to a level that only includes holding that has a material impact on the play, that's at the point of attack, and is readily visible. So I can't find anything on here, either at regular speed or in slow motion, that indicates that there was a hold that met that category. So just take a look at the videos, adjust and calibrate yourself so that we can call holding that really has an influence on a play and not call the shirt grabs or the slight tugs away from the play. Play number 3, holding was called on the wide receiver. He's right there on the corner. It was a good call, even though the running back did not get around the corner and he fell on his own. It's a hold right out there in the middle of the field. You can see the tug and jerk, which results in that defender falling to the ground. So that's a good call. Play number 4, a hold was called on the tight end, who's highlighted here. But really, he just does a great job at getting on the side of this guy, pushing him through the center of the pile, and then the runner goes around him. He then falls to the ground. Some guys fall over him. None of this is a foul. It was called a hold at the 14, but we cannot maintain a consistency level if we make calls like this. So again, just make sure that the hold is big at the point of attack, shows material restriction, and that we can justify them at the end of the day. Now the snap was at the 18, the hold was called at the 14. So under the all but one enforcement principle, the penalty would be enforced half the distance to the goal from the 14 with the replay of the previous down, because the foul occurred behind the basic spot. And on a running play, the basic spot is the end of the run. The end of the run was nearer the 18. The foul was at the 14. Therefore, the enforcement would be from the 14. Play number 5, an offensive hold was called on the right tackle, who's highlighted here. He's number 40. This is a great get, and it doesn't look like a lot from right here, but it is a point of attack foul. There is a material restriction beyond just a small jersey stretch, and we've got them highlighted here from the end zone. This will be our best view of it. So as the guy tries to get away, big jerk, big physical restriction, and it's right there at the corner, point of attack. Really good call.
Grab on the jersey.
Yep. Moving behind Aloha, 10-yard penalty, spot foul, 5th down.
So you can hear the official say spot foul. So it was 3rd and 6 from the 25. The penalty was 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Under the all but one, we take it from the further back position. So after we enforce this penalty from the 28, it's now going to be 3rd and 19 from the B38. One of the reasons why I don't like the inequities of the all but one, but that's how the enforcement is done. Play number 6, another holding called on this player highlighted here. Again, not enough. So we need to make sure we see all of the action, what we're calling, and the impact it has on the play. Easy to see how you can get fooled by this, but make sure you see that actual material restriction. This is an engage. The defender moves to the inside. When he spins off of it, he's immediately released. Not enough for a holding call. Play number 7, there's a hold by the right tackle, and I've got him highlighted here. And the defender just comes around the corner on him, and because he's beat, he reaches in with his right hand and grabs the front collar or sleeve area and jerks the defender to the ground. Now, nobody called this penalty, but it really should have been called. either secondarily by the head linesman or the referee, because that's the first threat on the quarterback. Well, now that we've done that, let's look at enforcement. 2nd and goal from the B11 is our start point. But because the hold happened so far into the backfield, let's mark it at the 19. That's going to be our spot of enforcement, making it a very severe penalty, because now it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 29. So from the previous spot, that's a net 18-yard penalty. By far the most severe penalty enforcement there is, even more so than an unsportsmanlike conduct would have been on that play. So the all but one enforcement can be very severe when it happens deep in the backfield. Play number 8, a holding was called against the receiver at the top of the screen. Now the run does go that way, so it is a point of attack, but the receiver's moving upfield, and then he just starts engaging a little bit late. He does have one hand holding on to a jersey, but there's no restriction there. There's not enough to make this a holding call. So when we look at it from the sideline, you can see this is about where they engaged in a little left-hand grip, but he's just going where the defender wants to go, and he's just staying in contact with him. Not enough for a holding call. Play number 9, the center does a hold, twist, turn, and takedown, and that is 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. So since we're starting out this play, 1st and 10 at the A40, which is marked here, and after the play runs, you can see the center here. He grabs him. He's got a shoulder grab, twist, turn, and takedown. There's no question that that is a hold. But the enforcement under the all but one, because the run ends beyond that spot, will now be from the spot of the hold, which is 1 yard behind the previous spot. So that's our spot of enforcement. It will go back 10 yards from there, and it's now 1st and 21 from the A29.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Play number 10 is another one of those holding calls. You just can't find anything big enough on the video. So look at the right side of the offensive formation. Got a couple of blocks over there. You can see the flag gets punched out. We've got another view from the end zone. But just another reminder that we have to make these holds big, obvious, and impacting the play at the point of attack. Play number 11, you can see the left tackle here. I've got him highlighted because this is a good no call for holding. He has good feet. He runs the defender all the way around the quarterback. May have been a little tug at the end, but he'd already worked the player around the quarterback, and the quarterback had already moved out of the area here. So we got nothing. That's a great no call. Play number 12, holding was called against the center, and he shoots out to go get this linebacker. It's a really difficult call, but this is why you have to be careful on the arm hooks as well, because you have to know who put who in what position. 75 approaches him and puts a hand on the shoulder, and the defense rips his arm up underneath 75 to try to shed him, creating the arm hook on himself. 75 just tried to let him go. So this is an incorrect call for holding because the defense put himself in that position by trying to rip that arm off of the blocker. Play number 13, I'm looking at the left guard and also one of the blocking receivers because it's just good blocking. It's a little bit suspect. You can see some gripping, but he has good feet. He gets spun around on the guy pretty nicely, maintains his position. As you watch the end zone view as well, you can see the receiver on the front. He's just pushing. That's not a hold. That's a good no call. Let's move into the quarterback plays, and we're going to start with some roughing the passer. Play number 14, roughing the passer, was called. It is a correct call. We're going to have two different views at it, but you could see on that view that the guy was going to be a little late. Now here's what I want to really look at. When he comes in, does he get him with the helmet? I would not consider this a flagrant act because he does not have an upward thrust. He comes in laterally, and his helmet makes contact with the quarterback's shoulder. Good call for roughing, though.
Roughing the passer on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Play number 15, roughing the passer, was called, and it is a correct call, no question about it. The defender takes 3 steps before he hits the quarterback. And I think what's more important is how he hit the quarterback, because we already know a passer who's just thrown the ball is a defenseless player. And this defender comes in, and his initial point of contact is crown of helmet to chin. The contact's unnecessary, and there's an upward thrust. So we've got a defenseless player, an upward thrust, and a spear to the chin. Those three things combined together, in my opinion, make this a flagrant hit, and therefore qualifies for disqualification. Let's move into forward or backward pass. I refer to it as point to point because it's where he releases it. Initial direction I know by definition, but the only way to really figure this out is point to point. Looks like he releases it at the 42.5. When you roll it over to the receiver, he leaps from the 43, probably touches it 42.5, maybe a little forward. But philosophy-wise, because there's no way we're never ever going to really know for sure, just go incomplete if we're not sure. If we're sure, we'll let it run. But if we're not sure, incomplete. Nice job. Play number 17 is another one of those, is it lateral or forwards? Did he control it not long enough to make it a catch? So the only way to really get these, wing officials and referees, is get those point-to-point spots in your head. When the quarterback releases it, get that spot. When it's first touched, get that spot. And just make the best educated decision you can at that point. If you're unsure by philosophy, it is forward, and therefore, if dropped, incomplete. Play number 18, we're going to talk about a tipped pass that's near the quarterback. And in these cases, because it is impossible to say whether or not that was going to be a forward or a backward pass, or whether it was intended to be a forward or backward pass, rule it incomplete right on the spot. If it's tipped that close to the quarterback, there's no way you can see whether he was trying to lead that receiver into a forward pass or whether he was throwing a backward pass. So it's a great philosophy, incomplete. Let's move on. Play number 19, we're going to talk about intentional grounding. And in this play, intentional grounding's called. This guy's running way back. He's under duress, and he just flops the ball out there into nowhere land. So this is going to be intentional grounding. It's a spot -5 plus a loss of down. So it's a real big one. So make sure you got a flag on your spot of enforcement there. Next intentional grounding example. This was also a correct call for intentional grounding. He just ditches the ball into the ground. There was some question as to the contact on the quarterback, but the contact was legal. It's disguised a little bit, looks a little like helmet to helmet, but it's not. He has his helmet lower and his hand pushes on the face mask of the quarterback. It was not a strike, therefore an okay hit. Play number 21. This was not ruled intentional grounding, and it's a correct call because even though he's under duress and the ball doesn't get near a receiver, the defender hits him from the back or hits his arm and alters the throw. Therefore, correct, no call on grounding. Play number 22 is an illegal forward pass because the quarterback went beyond the line of scrimmage. So he snapped it from the 34. You can see the chain box right there, first down, and he releases it with his entire body, clearly beyond the line. The rule in high school is foot over the line. Philosophy is foot down over the line. But in this case, everything's over the line. Nice call.
Standing up, sitting
Illegal forward
down.
pass on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Loss of down. Second down.
Play number 23 is just a referee mechanic as it relates to the quarterback. When he gets hit like that, make sure you keep eyes on him and take care of him. That's like leaving your kid on the subway when you get off. You know, that guy is in a world of hurt with a lot of big guys. You need to stay with him and keep an eye on him. Play 24. This is just one of those plays that sneaks up on you. You're never expecting this, so you always have to be ready for it. And that's when the ball slips out of the quarterback's hand. Was his arm going forward? Was it not? Did it just slip out? This was ruled a fumble and recovered again by the offense, which was correct. But it's just one of those plays that sneaks up on you, so stay alert. Play number 4, this is just an unusual play where you have a fumble in or near the end zone, the goal line. It's a tough mechanics play to work. So wing officials, when you see that quarterback getting pushed back like that and he's in real trouble, start making your way back so you can give the referee a hand. That's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Evil. In a little while, you'll notice that the Kreplakistani warhead has gone missing. If you want it back, you're going to have to pay me $100 billion. Dr. Evil, this is 1969. That amount of money doesn't even exist. That's like saying, I want $1 bajillion.